and I'm from Pretoria. I'm 26 years old. I'm currently studying UNIMSA, a master's in psychology. And yeah, I'm gonna be telling you a bit about myself, so don't judge. Yeah, I'm watching you. So, I'm gonna tell about my life, but in stages, because we got problems, we got mental problems. South Africa is just happening. So, let's start in my early ages as a child. I grew up as a very troubled child, as a child who didn't know herself, who didn't know where she's going. And I know it's typical of child, you're like, but you're a child. But if you're a child who's being raped and who's been molested, it becomes even worse. You start questioning who you are and what you are. When you go visiting, you hear your cousins say that, "When I get my virgin," and they're proud of that. And when you reflect on yourself, you're like, but I'm not. Does that make me less of a person or what? So I grew up with a very low self-esteem, looking at myself and saying that I'm not worthy enough, and I never thought that I would reach where I am today, having a master's in psychology. So actually studying, I'm studying a master's in psychology. So yeah, it's been very troubling growing up, keeping the secret inside that I've been raped, and it was by a family member. And at first I was like, I don't want to get anyone in trouble, and I didn't know. The worst part is that I didn't know what was happening to me at that point. I was not exposed to what sex is, what kind of feeling it is. We went from playing and now to this guy touching me, telling me to take off my pants and all of those things, and I wish parents of today, you could educate your children early enough, whether they're 4, but as long as your girl child can talk and can understand their body, they start talking to them like, hey, do not allow people to do 1, 2, 3 to you. This is a valuable part of your body. This is a choice that you make. It's not something that's just taken from you. It's a choice that you make whether you want to or not. And if it happens to you, you must talk about it. Doesn't matter how close the person, the perpetrator is to you, but you need to talk. And yeah, I think that is one thing I'll carry. And going on, I grew guts at around when I was doing grade 9.
Okay, I have one question for you. Sorry to cut you off.
Hi. About you.
Hi. Okay.
Hey.
First of all, thank you for doing this.
Alright.
This is so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a question. When you experienced like sexual assault from whoever,
Mm-hmm.
did your parents like communicate with anyone, like the police, social worker,
Mm-hmm.
to try to assist you to and heal with this whole thing that you experienced?
No, they didn't, because at that point I didn't talk to anyone about it. It happened when I was 8, 9 years old. And kids at that age, we don't really much more sex until we get or we're playing outside, so we're really not exposed to sex and so only when I was in grade 9, I think it was grade 9 or grade 10, then I spoke to my mom about it. And at that point my mom was going through a divorce with my dad, so we had more time to spend with each other. So I told her, and then she wasn't, at that point she didn't know what to do. I think Lena herself, she was having her own problems, and here I am telling her about me being raped. And yeah, I would say she just didn't know what to do, what to say. She even asked me like, okay, what do you want me to do? And I was like, I don't know. She was like, should I call a family meeting, the police, what should I do? And I said, don't do anything, and that's what she did. She didn't do anything about it until I got to varsity. I was doing my first year, and that's when I was like, she didn't do anything. I know that's what I wanted, But I started reflecting that when I'm a mom and I just hear my child telling me that, what am I going to do about it, you know? And I thought that, no, man, that was not what she was supposed to do. She was supposed to do at least something. She was not supposed to ask me. A child at grade 9, what is she supposed to know? What decisions can she make? So that's the point where I just got really upset. Yeah, and then it went on to me being admitted when I was gone my first year. When came back to me that, no, this is what happened. I told my mom. She didn't do anything about it. And I just got, mentally ill in a way. And I got admitted to Louis Pasteur Hospital, called the mental unit. I didn't get crazy. I was depressed.
Yes, we get that.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're talking about mental illness. People think that,
I think it's important for somebody who's pursuing a master's to educate like the public what is mental illness, because now as black people we have a habit of associating mental illness and somebody who only associated with somebody who is facing like schizophrenia or whatever, but we don't really acknowledge depression, stress as mental illness. So I think it's important that we highlight that not only is schizophrenia as a mental illness. You had other patients there that had anxiety, right?
Yeah.
And other patients that had stress. What were you diagnosed with? Post-traumatic stress or depression?
They diagnosed me with depression because it's been like a long time since I was 8 years old. So I've been like living with this. So it got to a stage where I got depressed.
Yeah.
Especially once you know what actually happened to you and what has been taken away from you.
Yeah.
Because when you are young, you just feel that pain of the sexual intercourse. You don't know what happened, like you're still confused about it. But when you grow and you go to church and you hear them talk about sex before marriage, the sin, when you hear people talking about, oh, I'm a virgin and I'm proud of it, and when you hear stories about people being violated and hearing a story or someone talking that I was raped and whoever raped me is in prison, and you thinking that, yeah, but that's similar to my story.
Yeah.
But that person, he's still around out there, he's still living his life, nothing is bothering him, and that's when the depression sinks in and you become like unable to care. Yeah, it's poor depleted, not there.
It's so amazing that we can laugh about it. We don't laugh about the matter, but you can find humor and still smile.
And then you hear this people talking about
What
guys. So that kind of thing. So I grew up with that, strong personality. You won't touch me, you won't do anything to me. Because now we're talking about rape and rape to a child.
You got it.
And then if I can go through that means that none of anyone can do anything to me. So I developed this very strong defensive personality where I say that I don't have to deal with my emotions because I'm strong. Then later on, when I was in varsity and went to the to the hospital.
Yeah.
That's when I realized that it's okay to cry, and most especially when I was studying, psychology, PYC 1501. When you start reading and you're like, no, but this was wrong. It doesn't mean when you cry, it doesn't mean when you deal with the matter, it doesn't mean when you face it, you are weak and you're not strong. It means that you're even more stronger to even talk about it. Look at me now. I'm making a whole video that everybody's going to watch. I know some people are going to judge me, like, oh, okay, Vanessa, we thought she was strong, what. And yes, I am strong because I'm motivating someone out there who went through the same experiences as me, who's covering up with that mask of being strong. And I'm saying that, talk about it. It's fine. You don't have to keep it in. People will have their own opinions, they will have whatever judgment by your life, but at the end of the day, you are the one who defines your life. And I defined my life and I said, I'd rather heal than be strong. Healing is way better than being strong, because I saw myself at a breaking point, and you know where that breaking point was? I wanted to commit suicide, and I was like, imagine from 9 years old, grade 9, everything in the shop, being strong, being this, powerful woman, until that point where I just broke apart.
Yeah.
And then I realized that this is not healthy. I spoke to my dad about it, and then because then he didn't know what to do. He just looked at me, he's like, I can't handle this. So he took me to a social worker, and that's when I got admitted.
Right?
Yeah.
And then outside the hospital, when you were discharged, did you have a program for that?
No, and I feel like that is where we lack in our mental institutions. Like, they just let me go like that. After 21 days of being there, but they give you sleeping pills, they give you psychiatric pills, to cope with whatever you're going through, the depression. Once you get admitted, they don't do follow-ups, and also the medication,
True.
There was a point where I struggled even sleeping. Like, I think it's an everyday thing now, where 3 o'clock I just wake up, where even when I'm stressed a lot, I have deadlines, I'll just wake up at 3 o'clock because so I feel like there should be follow-up sessions